Hey everybody, welcome to Adventure in a Vineyard's first ever cooking video. It's actually late at night and I'm going to be just showing the first part of this video where we're making our sourdough leaven for my einkorn bread that I love to bake. This is the brand of flour that I use. It's jovial, it's all-purpose flour, and it is made with old world wheat that is certified glyphosate free. It's 100% organic and it's kinder to your digestive system and it tastes absolutely fantastic. So tonight what I've got right here in this bowl, this is 30 grams of my sourdough starter. I have been working on this starter it's a little over 3 years now. And so I've taken 30 grams and I'm measuring it with a digital scale. You really want to measure your starter for a much more accurate measurement. And then next what we're going to do is I'm going to pour 130 grams of 100 degree, we get our water from our beautiful well. And if you don't have well water, if you're using city water, tap water, etc., I would probably use a purified bottled water. But here we go. So I'm just going to watch as this climbs to 160 because I already had 30 registered. So we'll just get up to 160. Just go a little slower so we don't go over. And if you ever do, Karis, I'm going to get a quick spoon out of here. Went a little over. It's all good. We'll just grab some out to make sure. Perfect, 160. All right.
Yeah.
So we have 160 total grams in here now, right between the sourdough starter and the 100 degree water. And then what you do next is you're just going to mix this really, really well until you get a very opaque, no more lumps from the starter consistency, and you'll know it's ready. Okay, for this next section, Karis is going to take us through this piece.
I already rehearsed, and let's get started. So my mom is going to be...
What am I going to do?
My mom is going to be adding the flour to...
the mixture?
Yeah.
Do you remember how much flour?
120 grams.
Yes, 120 grams. All right, so first what we want to do is we want to tare.
Okay.
I want to clear it out, right? So now it's 0. So will you follow the screen for me and let me know when I get to 120?
Okay.
Or especially when I'm getting close.
So 100,
what am I at right now?
104. 120.
We a little over? All right, let's scoop some out. Scoop a little out. Where are we at?
100 and
a little too much? That took a little too much. How about now? There we go. I can see it.
28.
On the money. All right. And so what you do is you really want to incorporate this mixture thoroughly. No flour, no dry flour bits. And you'll have just almost like an oatmeal kind of texture.
Yeah.
And then before we are done for the night, this will be ready to bake with in the morning, and we'll pick up this video in the morning. Do you remember what we do to this before we go to bed tonight? Well, actually, in about 2 seconds when I'm done stirring. Do I cover it?
Yeah. With plastic, you cover this with plastic, and it's perfectly delicious.
Yeah, so you're going to cover it really tight with some clear plastic wrap. I like to wrap mine in a towel because I keep my air conditioning really, really low at night.
Yes, she does. You guys, it's
just like snowing
so
all the time.
Cold.
So I keep it cold. So in order to keep this warm, I wrap it in a little kitchen towel and then I store it in my pantry. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, we're wrapping the plastic around the bowl. And by the way, you guys, this branding of plastic is not sponsored.
This is my tea towel. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Adventure in a Vineyard, our cooking edition. So we are picking up where we left off last night. We prepared our einkorn sourdough leaven. So this morning we are going to get ready to bake bread. So as you can see, this is our leaven. We've got beautiful bubbles that formed overnight. It's exactly what you want to see. And you'll see I have a variety of tools here, and I'll go through them as I use them. But first and foremost, my trusty spatula. This actually goes back to when I was in culinary school forever ago. But we're going to first mix our einkorn sourdough leaven. And once again, we've got our digital scale here that we are going to use for measurements. Now, obviously the einkorn leaven, we did all the measuring last night. So this, we're just gonna take this whole batch, get as much of this out of here. I don't wanna waste anything as possible. Let's go get all that. I don't know if any of you noticed, I have a little friend on my shoulder. Karis is my photographer right now because Dad is out in the vineyard doing work, and so she is videoing us this morning. All right, so we've got our sourdough leaven in here, and I'm gonna zero out the scale. And then next we need 315 grams of, again, 100-degree water. So this is nice and warm. So I'm gonna pay attention to my scale here and not let it go over. We're gonna mix this really well once we get all of this water in there. And close, 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 close. Not quite, not quite. Let's see where that leaves us. All right, we're at 310. That's perfect. All right, so just gonna gently mix this in. We don't want to splash anything outside of our bowl.
Yeah, if you guys want to know how to make this, I'm sure we'll put like some like recipe on the side with CapCut.
Great idea, Karis. All right, next up, we're going to zero that out, and now we're going to add our flour.
I think Pascal should talk a little bit more.
I'm gonna add in 600 grams of this einkorn all-purpose flour to our leaven water mixture.
Comment down below if you want us to do the recipe in the comments, or if you want it on the video.
All right, now is our teaspoon and a half of
Salt.
fine sea salt. Fine sea salt, teaspoon and a half. So I'm just gonna sprinkle that in the bowl. And now for the next tool, this is my dough whisk. It's a heavy duty whisk. It is absolutely perfect for mixing heavier doughs such as einkorn.
Yeah, you guys, this is the best bread in the world. It's so crunchy, so good. So you guys definitely have to make it yourself, because I know a lot of bakers out there that love to bake bread, but you've never tried this one. So definitely try this one. Watch this video, and also make sure to subscribe and press the like button.
Plus, this is a ridiculously healthy bread. Like sourdoughs in general are healthier. But this one is, in my opinion,
all organic.
Yes, but it's also just the type of flour, the wheat, essentially the wheat that this flour comes from is.
See that color? That's what the inside of the bread color is.
So you can see it's a really thick.
That's the color of the bread, literally, you guys.
It's a really thick, heavy dough. And so this tool makes it a lot easier. All right, so the next step is going to be, letting it rest. You'll see it's really wet and sticky. So I'm gonna just use my spatula here to get, I don't wanna waste any of this, to get all this dough off of my dough whisk here, this tool. And the next and final step will be, I'm gonna take just a large dinner plate and I'm gonna rest it on top of the bowl. And then we're gonna let our dough sit for 15 minutes. And the reason for that is it's still really wet, and it'll give it time for all that flour to absorb and make it a lot easier to work with when we start to do our kneading and stuff.
Okay.
All right, so we're just gonna place this dinner plate on top of the bowl. And like I said, we're gonna let this rest for 15 minutes. So we'll see you in 15 minutes. All right, it's been 15 minutes. So we're gonna get on to the next step, which is stretching the dough. So this is still a very sticky dough, even though it's had time to rest. So what we're gonna do is generously flour our clean work surface. Like I said, it is sticky, sticky, sticky.
Looks snowy.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna flour my hands. And then this is my dough scraper. So this is the third tool that I had laying next to me earlier in the video. So we are going to really get in here and scrape this dough out onto the counter.
Yep.
And again, it's wet, but don't worry. We are going to probably add a little more flour on top so that we can work with it.
whoever has made this type of bread before, comment down below.
All right.
Yeah. If you've made this bread before, do a bread emoji down below.
That's a good one. Bread
Yeah.
emojis. Notice I have some new accessories on.
She made them.
Karis and I make these bracelets. That little silver bell, it's sterling silver. And bells are kind of our thing. Here at Two Elizabeths, we are all about health, and there's a lot of research about the healing frequencies. Love it. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we go. We're gonna flour the top of it. And what you wanna do, again, let me make sure my hands are nice and floured, is sort of make a square shape.
Yeah, definitely a square.
Yep. And then we're gonna pick it up and stretch it. You can see it stretching. And then we're gonna start folding it. I'm gonna stretch it on that side. Okay, and then we're gonna turn it and stretch it again.
That looks
Fold
like a bag.
and turn it back into our bowl for another 15-minute rest. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna let this rest for 15 more minutes, and then we're gonna repeat that process that I just showed you 2 times. And we'll see you back here in just a bit. We're back for our second stretching of the dough. And you can tell it's risen quite a bit just in the short period of time that it sat there for the last 15 minutes. And again, just gonna get all this dough with our dough scraper out onto our work surface. Every last little bit. Come in here.
Yep.
This is such a handy tool. And final stretch. Pascal, how you doing up there, buddy?
Handbag.
Pascal's still hanging with me. This is Karis' little buddy, but she asked that I wear him for the video. Since she's not in it, we got Pascal in. All right, back to the bowl we go. Dinner plate resting on top. And another 15 minutes will go by and we'll see you then. We're back for our final dough stretch and turn. This is the third one. 15 minutes just completed for this rest. You'll notice it's coming out so much easier than it was initially. All right, but again, we don't want to waste any of this beautiful dough.
No. Nope.
It makes me think of that Bush's baked bean commercial when they're like, roll that beautiful bean footage. I want to say, roll that beautiful dough footage. All right. And once again, flouring of the hands, a little bit of flour here. Make that square. And what do we do?
Stretch. Like a handbag.
Fold, turn.
Stretch.
Stretch.
Fold.
Fold,
Turn.
turn.
Stretch.
Stretch. What do we do?
Fold.
And
Turn.
yes. Good.
Stretch.
Last stretch. Last fold. And no turn. Here it goes into her bowl. And now at this stage, she is now going to rest anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. It depends on your kitchen, and also temperature and, you know, humidity and things like that are gonna come into play as well. So just watch your dough, but you really wanna see it almost double in size as it rises. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover it with that clear cling film, and I'm gonna wrap it in my tea towel, and I'm gonna let it sit for 3 hours. We'll check it at 3. If she's ready to go, we'll begin the next step then. So we'll see you in a bit.
See you in 5 to 3 hours.
Welcome back. We are going to begin the final step of our dough before we bake. And so we have just rounded just over 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours of this dough resting. So right now, the step that we are about to do is called shaping the bowl. And so you can see I've got a floured work surface. I've got my trusty dough scraper here if I need it. And so what I'm gonna do first, and Karis, I feel show this, so if it starts to stick, I can just use that, is I'm gonna pinch and pull the edges into the center like so. And I don't wanna neglect any piece here. And I'm just gonna do that a few more times. I don't know if it's totally necessary. This is just how I like to do it. I find that it works for me. And then, again, using our little dough scraper, we're gonna flip her over, and you cup your hands and you start to push and twist in a circular motion. And so I'm just gonna keep doing this motion. If my hands get sticky or If the dough needs a little flour, I can just tap on the surface next to.
Yep, just like this.
Exactly.
And your hands are dirty.
And so I'm just going to do this for a little bit longer. And before I complete that, I want to show you where it's going to have its final rest before it goes into the oven. I've got this traditional bread rising bowl, but I'm not going to lie. My favorite method is I just take a large colander or sieve and I place a big linen bread blanket in there, well floured, very well floured. And so let me just do this a few more times. And we are going to take this beautiful ball of dough.
Can I touch it, Mom?
In 1 second, we're gonna flip it, put it in there. Go ahead, touch it.
It's so
All
pretty.
right.
It's so pretty.
And I'm just
so
gonna
fun
fold
to-
the edges of this linen over.
Mhm.
All right, final step before the dough goes into the oven to bake our bread. So I've just pulled my cast iron Dutch oven out of a 500-degree oven. So this is super, super hot, hence the mitts and the board here, because I don't want to put a scorching hot pan onto my countertop. And next is, let's check out and reveal our dough that has been sitting here. It is, yeah, it's looking really good. All right, so we're gonna gently lift it and tip it upside down into the Dutch oven. And one thing I like to do, again, I don't think this is absolutely necessary, is I kind of shake it around to reshape the bread, just because it kind of, when I threw it in there. I'm just gonna draw almost like a little tic-tac-toe board there. And of course, remembering to use my mitt to put this back on. And last and final step is this is going into the oven. And as soon as I shut that oven door, I'm gonna take the temperature down to 450, set my timer for 40 minutes, and we will have sourdough bread. We'll see you in just a bit, 40 minutes. And now for my favorite part, the big reveal. We just pulled the sourdough bread out of the oven, steaming up the place. Get a good look at her. So excited to slice right into this. But first, I'm gonna get her out and place her on my board, and I'm gonna let her rest for a little bit, and it will be time to cut right into that beautiful sourdough, einkorn sourdough bollet. My favorite way to enjoy this is with olive oil and a little Celtic sea salt. My daughter's favorite way to enjoy it is with just good old-fashioned butter. And Christian, what's your favorite way to have this bread?
Oh, with the way you do it, with the
Olive oil?
The olive oil.
Yeah, it's good.
Kind of like the Italian restaurants kind of
Yeah, a
thing.
little herb mixture sometimes too.
That's
It's
always good.
fantastic. But anyways, thanks for watching and have a blessed day.